Okay, it's day 9 of 100, and I came back out to the barn, and because of the woodpeckers yesterday, I wanted to come back out here and see them and do a little meditation around what message they wanted to share with me. So I did more of a journey, I guess, or turned into a journey, which my meditations tend to do anyway, I think. But so the woodpecker was on the fence post, and when I came out here, they were both there again, the two red-headed woodpeckers. And so for my meditation, I did the whole journey thing, and I chose my my entrance into the journey was the bottom of the fence post that they were on. And so when I get through the underground, and I get through the tunnel, and I come to this place of light, and there's the mountains, and there's this big red-headed woodpecker swooping around. And so I ask him to show me, show me what I need to know. What is your message for me? And these 3 doors appear, which they just appear, I don't know. And I guess generally speaking, the woodpecker totem represents opportunity, opportunity knocking. And so the 3, and he's like swooping around, and I thought I was supposed to pick one of the doors, and I said, so show me which door I should open. And so he started swooping around the 3rd door, the one on the far right. And so I come up to it, and the closer I get, the more detail it gets. It's like this beautiful carved door, and it's super heavy, and I start to push on it, and I like barely get it open, and I just see this crack of light, and it's like I'm having a hard time getting in there, which I didn't think about. It's all like I'm registering all of this now. I think it was like it wasn't time for me to open that door, and I'm pushing on it, and I like finally it opens. That totally makes sense. That makes so much more sense now that I'm saying it out loud. So anyway, I see, as like the door is cracked, I can tell it's just these colors, very specific colors, and it's kind of like a blend with more structured lines. Kind of reminded me of noodles. But anyway, when I do get the door all the way open, I realize it's one of my oracle cards. It's this card. But I totally see this whole corner is like what I saw as I'm cracking the door open. I don't know that it was all this detail of the horse, but my duck's waddling for his life. I don't think it was that super detailed, but it was very clear to me what that was. So in my head, I'm like, oh my God, that's one of my Way of the Horse cards. I know exactly which one it is, but I don't remember what it represents. So of course, after I do my meditation, I have to go and get my cards, and so that's why I have my cards out here. And so I'm gonna fast forward. So I do this meditation, I get my cards, I pull 5 cards. So the woodpecker does eventually open all 3 doors for me, the far right, the middle, and then the far left. So it wasn't for me to like choose one door. Anyway, I pull 5 cards, and 3 of the cards, this one came out in my 5 card pull. So that's kind of, so it represents timing, opportunity, and moments infused with meaning and choice. Kairos is the name of the card, which is perfect for the whole like woodpecker, opportunity knocking. Okay, so the next card, the door opens slowly, like it's still a little heavy. But no, it wasn't such a big deal to open that door. And I see, so this is what I believe I see as my second card. And that's horse ancestors, which I knew. I mean, when I saw that, I recognized that as being the horse ancestors. So when I did my 5-card pull, this card comes out, which they're similar in the way that they're both about, okay, so this is the herd, which I didn't know. I want to read these so I have them. Okay, so 23 is the card that was in the pull that I did in my 5-card spread, which is the herd, and it represents authentic community, consensual leadership, balancing individual and group needs. This is the card the woodpecker showed me, 31, which is the horse ancestors, species wisdom, collective memory, ancestral patterns affecting current events. When you engage the collective memory of another species or your own, you access a wealth of information beyond personal experience. Intense surges of sadness, anger, and anxiety are sometimes evidence of ancestral pain. Distinguishing between emotions and behaviors related to the present situation, your own history, and unresolved issues from the distant past can be confusing, yet ultimately healing. Gosh, where do I even start with that one? I mean, considering everything that came up yesterday, which was an intense surge of sadness, engaging the collective memory of another species, you access a wealth of information beyond personal experience. And it wasn't just the horses, yesterday too. It was this woodpecker. There's a lot with that. There's a lot coming up around that. So, ancestral patterns affecting current events. So what I'm curious to know is like, what is my ancestral patterns with grief? And perhaps it does go deeper than my own personal experience with grief. And the fact that Rasa has shown, that she came in and did that, like, went so much out of her way to move that for me, and did that for someone else too, in a very similar way. What is her experience with grief? And how she experienced that in her life, which I'm sure it's also very intense. And just knowing a little bit about the 5 years she spent before she came here. I'm sure that she's well versed in that. And that's why she's so good at that. Okay, so then the woodpecker opened the first door, which I saw this card. This card also came up in my 5-card pull. And when I looked at it, so at this point I know that these are my cards that the woodpecker is showing me. And so I look at this and I go, oh, it's the Eye of the Storm. But it isn't. I saw this card, but I labeled it as this card, which is Eye of the Storm, but they're similar. So I want to look at the card which the woodpecker showed me, and the card which was in my 5-card pool, and that's called the horse. No, I'm sorry, that's not right. That's called Out of Body. I called it I Have the Storm in My Dream. The birds are wackadoodle out here. It's so fascinating. Okay, so this card, which was the third one the woodpecker showed me, Transcendence, Dissociation, Surviving or Thriving. The ability to transcend normal awareness allows you to integrate paradox and to access innovative states of mind, which I think is what I do, what I've been doing for 9 days now. Transcending normal awareness in order to integrate paradox, which that has come up a lot. Just the recognition and the awareness around how much paradox life is and I am, and so integrating that to access innovative states of mind. Oh, the challenge. Sometimes dissociating from sensation and emotion is more about surviving than thriving. Habitually floating above uncomfortable situations can lead to disempowerment. So I read this super fascinating thing about oh, it's on my phone. I can't look it up. It's about, I can't remember the clinical terms, but it's about basically checking out, going somewhere else to get away from, to numb, to leave, to not have to deal with, or dissociating in a way that allows you to, like, you're floating above, but, you know, still looking down on, still like getting information about the situation, but you're accessing some other realm of consciousness. So meditation would do that. Using psychedelics would do that. And there's a point between doing that to numb and check out, or doing that to access more innovative states of mind, to access more creativity, which is just interesting. But I'll have to look into that more around the clinical stuff. Okay, 14. So I did not. This is what I thought the woodpecker. I mean, this is what I said. Eye of the Storm. Because that's what I thought the woodpecker was showing me. So I still want to look at that. 14. Okay. Oh my God, it's going to be 12 hours of me looking for... I have Storm. Emotional collection, finding your center, developing the witness. When you learn to use emotion as information, you no longer panic in response to strong feelings. So that's the gift. The challenge, the tendency to suppress uncomfortable emotions leads to whirlwinds of uncontrollable expression later. Exactly what I did is exactly what happened, because, which I said I have a storm in my meditation, but I don't know the cards super well, and so I didn't really remember what that represented. So that's interesting to me. So suppressing that uncomfortable emotion the night before led to uncontrollable expression later. And I mean, like I said, I didn't feel like I was ever going to come out of that state of grief. I didn't feel like I had control of it. Not that I was trying to, not that I wanted any. It definitely felt uncontrolled, but I was okay with that, I guess. Rather than float above the storm, which, floating above, That's exactly what was in what was that? I do have concerns about my battery always running out. Okay, out of body. It's right here. Why am I flipping? Okay, so rather than float above the storm or ignore it altogether, leap into the center and discover its origins. Out of body was habitually floating above uncomfortable situations can lead to disempowerment. So I think visually, they're very similar. And there's some similarity too in the meaning. The sky is clear in the center of the hurricane. Developing the witness. So that's something I've definitely been working on. Very intentionally and purposefully for, I don't know, a while. Does it matter? Yeah, so learning to notice what's coming up for me without judging it. And so just witnessing what's going on. So, okay. So back to my whole meditation, which I came back, when I was done with all of that, I came back through the tunnel and up to the wood post, and I came back and I had my hands over my eyes, right? So I did that, and then it was really bright, so much bright. And then I opened my eyes and the woodpecker was gone. They were both gone. And I was like really sad. Like, oh, like I did what I needed to do and now they're gone. Like they came and taught me what they needed to teach me. Now they're gone. I want them back. Would I be willing to give up what I learned in order to have them back? No, but I still want them back. So anyway, I felt like that was all about the cards and, the woodpecker showing me the cards. So I did go and get my cards, and I was kind of blown away by the cards that came up because they were the cards that the woodpecker showed me. And so I sat here and I just took I don't know, probably not even 5 minutes, closed my eyes, connected with my breath again, and I asked the woodpecker, what is the message that you have for me? And the woodpecker said, shake things up. Shake things up. Be bold. What was the other thing? Oh, shit. It's going to come to me. Shake things up. Be bold, and opportunities will it's hard because that part he didn't use words for. A lot of it was just images. So all of these doors just popping up and coming and going, and it was like raining doors basically, because just shake things up, be bold. Opportunity is going to do that, and opportunity is going to, it's going to be there. So much there. So much. And so that was nice, and I opened my eyes, and that woodpecker came back. I was sitting on the post. So it was nice. I got to have my cake and eat it too. So this is super, super long, quick capture. I don't know. I'm just feeling rambly today, I guess. Day 9. I'm totally gonna talk to that woodpecker some more though, because that was pretty fascinating. All right. Awesome possum.